10 signs someone's crushing on you so hard, it's driving them crazy. Old Stoic wisdom. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. King's Zerenia Paulo Coelho. Have you ever had the feeling that someone is hiding something significant from you? Like they have a secret they long to share, but something keeps holding them back? Perhaps their gaze lingers a little too long, or they seem to light up when you're around, only to quickly retreat as if trying to hide their emotions. These aren't just random occurrences. They're clues, subtle hints that someone may be harbouring a deep crush on you, one so intense that it's beginning to stir up a whirlwind of emotions they can barely control. As someone who has spent years studying the art of attraction and non-verbal communication, I can confidently say that when someone is secretly infatuated, it won't stay hidden for long. Their feelings will find a way to slip through, whether through their words, body language, or even in the quiet moments of silence. In this article, we're going to explore the 10 undeniable signs that someone's falling for you, possibly harder than you realize. These signs are the key to understanding the nervous smiles, the confusing mixed signals, and those fleeting glances that reveal more than they intend. Ready to uncover the truth? Let's dive in. Sign 1. They remember every little detail. It might seem like a simple thing, but when someone has their heart set on you, their attention to the smallest details speaks volumes. You might have mentioned a song you love in passing weeks ago, and yet, out of nowhere, they bring it up again in conversation. Or perhaps you jokingly shared a childhood memory, and they recall your exact words as if they were etched in stone. This isn't just a remarkable memory at work, it's emotional imprinting in action. When someone is truly infatuated, every word you speak is carefully stored away, treated like a precious gem. Psychologically, this phenomenon is tied to selective attention. When we form an emotional attachment, our brains instinctively filter out distractions and hone in on the object of our affection. It's as though the rest of the world fades into the background, while you, and only you, occupy their every thought. Your quirks, preferences, and even the most insignificant stories are stored and replayed in their mind as though they're crucial pieces of a puzzle that only you can complete. To them, you're far from being just another face in the crowd. You're the protagonist in their story, and remembering these small, intimate details isn't a coincidence. It's their heart's subtle way of telling you, without saying a word, that you matter more than you could ever imagine. They're not just listening to you, they're absorbing you, cherishing you, holding on to every little fragment of you. In modern life, where distractions pull us in 100 different directions, this kind of attention is rare. It's a sign that someone is not only interested in you, but invested in you in a way that goes beyond superficiality. They've tuned into you on a deeper level, and their focus isn't merely on your words, but on your essence. So, the next time you find them bringing up something seemingly insignificant you shared, take it as a reminder that you're not just another passing moment for them. You're the one they can't forget. It's a powerful and beautiful form of connection, one that's grounded in both deep interest and quiet admiration. Sign 2. Their eyes search for you in every room. When someone is crushing on you, their eyes become far more than mere instruments for vision. They serve as the windows to their heart, a reflection of their emotional state. This isn't just a casual glance here or there. It's a silent, almost desperate search. Picture this. They walk into a room, and before even saying hello to anyone, their eyes start scanning the space, subconsciously seeking you out. This instinctive search isn't driven by logic or conscious thought. Instead, it's a deep psychological need to connect. It's as if their emotional well-being hinges on finding you in the room, on making that eye contact. It's the same feeling as a breath of fresh air after holding your breath for too long. That moment, even if fleeting, releases a flood of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. The connection is almost tangible. It gives them an emotional jolt, a tiny hit of joy that they can't quite control. The instant their eyes meet yours, it's like the world fades away for a brief second, and that silent exchange holds more meaning than 1,000 words. But here's where it gets fascinating. The moment you catch them in the act, they often look away quickly, almost as though they've been caught in some guilty act, like stealing something they shouldn't have. It's not an act of indifference, though. Far from it. In that instant, their vulnerability is laid bare. They weren't prepared for you to notice them so clearly, to catch them in the act of longing, of quietly yearning for a connection that they might not yet have the courage to express aloud. This shift from looking at you to quickly looking away reveals a profound truth. Their eyes are telling you things their mouths can't. Their gaze is more honest than their words might ever be. It's a quiet confession of how deeply they're drawn to you, even if they can't yet find the courage to say it. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once remarked, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." This is precisely what's happening in their mind. The eye contact, the quick retreat, it's all part of a deeper emotional dance. They're not just seeing you, they're hoping you'll see them too, and perhaps understand the depth of their feelings. This is the kind of vulnerability that's hard to fake. It's a genuine emotional expression that can't be hidden, even by the most guarded person. And in real life, we've all been there. Whether it's the nerves that make you look away when someone catches you staring, or the anxious anticipation of wanting someone to notice you without being too obvious, this reaction is universal. It's that uncomfortable space between wanting to be seen and fearing the consequences of being noticed. So if you find someone repeatedly searching for your gaze in a crowded room, only to quickly look away when their eyes meet yours, it's a sign that their feelings for you are not just surface level. They're deeply invested, even if they're not yet ready to put those feelings into words. In fact, as the famous quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "The eyes are the windows to the soul." And in this case, their eyes are telling you a lot more than they might ever say aloud. They're offering you a glimpse into the emotional turmoil they're experiencing, crushing on you, wanting you to notice, but perhaps fearing what might come next. Don't overlook these subtle signs. They speak volumes. And if you've ever caught someone searching for your gaze only to quickly look away, you know exactly what this means. Drop a comment right now. Their eyes reveal what words can't. Like this video, subscribe for more timeless wisdom, and remember, true connection is seen through the eyes, not just spoken. Sign 3. Nervous energy around you. When someone is crushing on you so intensely that it's driving them crazy, their nervous energy will betray them. You might notice they laugh too loudly, fidget endlessly, or lose their train of thought mid-sentence. It's like watching a person fall apart right before your eyes. And yet, they're trying so desperately to maintain control. But here's the truth. When someone acts this anxious around you, but only you, it's not by chance. It's not random. It's nervous energy, the body's natural response to emotions that are too powerful to keep hidden. As the ancient Stoics might have said, "The more we have, the more we are disturbed by what we lack." When someone develops a crush on you, their brain floods with adrenaline and cortisol, the same stress chemicals that get triggered in moments of high tension or excitement. Their system goes into overdrive, and they can't help it. They may seem jittery, suddenly talk too much, or maybe even go silent. But let me be clear, it's not that they don't want to be near you. On the contrary, it's because your mere presence is short-circuiting their emotional control. They might ask you a simple question and blush like they're being questioned by an emperor, or their hands might tremble when they're close to you. These aren't signs of weakness, my friend. These are the unmistakable signs of someone who's been overtaken by emotion, a flood of feelings, a turmoil of desire and fear, struggling against the fortress of composure they've spent a lifetime building. "What we fear we can never overcome," said the Stoic philosopher Seneca. And that's exactly what's happening here. Their fear of making a fool of themselves, their fear of exposing too much, their fear of being vulnerable, all of it is coming to the surface. So take notice. If you see these signs, you're witnessing the raw truth of someone falling for you. And if you think it's only in their eyes that you'll find the truth, remember this. The eyes are the window to the soul, as Shakespeare wisely put it. Their nervousness, the subtle shifts in their behavior, they tell you more than they'll ever admit. And what should you do with this information? Use it. Understand the power you hold in your presence. Recognize the depth of what's unfolding right in front of you and act accordingly. They are not in control anymore. You are. It's time to lead the way, but with strength, confidence, and maybe a touch of playfulness. After all, you're not just a passive observer of their nervousness. You are the one causing it. This is a powerful position to be in, one you should step into with grace and self-assurance. Sign 4. They struggle to act normal around you. When someone has a crush on you, it can be fascinating to watch how their usual calm and composed demeanour gets disrupted by a rush of emotions they can't control. One of the most obvious signs of this is when they struggle to act normal around you, and it's something you'll likely notice right away. Suddenly, they don't seem like themselves. You might catch them stuttering when they talk, or see them transition from a perfectly calm state to one of awkwardness in mere seconds. It's as if the usual flow of their thoughts and actions is interrupted. And the truth is, it's not that they don't know how to behave. It's simply that their emotions have become so intense that their usual coolness starts to crack under the pressure. This is more than just a fleeting moment of nervousness. It's a psychological reaction that can happen when someone is experiencing a crush. When we feel attraction or infatuation, our brains become overloaded with a combination of excitement and anxiety, which creates an emotional cocktail that makes it hard to stay composed. This rush of emotions fuels the desire to impress you, but at the same time, it triggers a deep fear of making a mistake or saying the wrong thing, which in turn can make them feel awkward and out of sync. In their mind, they are trying to stay poised, but their heart is racing and their thoughts are scattered, creating a dissonance between their inner world and how they want to present themselves. As a result, their behaviour can become erratic. You might find them fidgeting nervously, running their hands through their hair, or shifting their weight from one foot to the other. Sometimes they may over-explain themselves in an effort to fill any silence, almost as if they're trying to compensate for their nervousness by overloading you with too much information. Or, in extreme cases, they might freeze entirely, unable to say anything at all. This sudden shift from confidence to hesitation is the result of an internal struggle that they can't easily hide. What you're witnessing is the battle between their desire to appear calm and collected, and the overwhelming feelings they have for you. Their usual self-assurance is momentarily replaced by vulnerability as they face the intense emotions that come with a crush. It's like they're walking a tightrope between wanting to impress you and fearing they'll do something that will ruin their chances. Their nervousness, their fidgeting, their awkwardness, every little slip-up they make is actually a silent confession of how much they care for you, even though they're not saying it outright. In fact, these moments of awkwardness are often a more honest reflection of their feelings than any carefully chosen words they might speak. They're revealing their true emotions, albeit in a roundabout way. As the great philosopher Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay," and in the context of infatuation, their hesitation and delay in acting normal is just a sign of how deeply they're feeling something they're not ready to fully acknowledge or express. This emotional overload often makes it difficult for them to stay composed, even if they try their hardest to appear unaffected. In their mind, they're constantly battling the urge to act on their emotions while also trying to remain in control. This internal tug-of-war leaves them vulnerable to slipping up in front of you, and each time they do, it's a quiet and indirect admission of their feelings. So, the next time you notice someone acting a little off or behaving in a way that seems out of character around you, don't dismiss it immediately as just clumsiness or anxiety. Instead, consider it a sign that there's more going on beneath the surface. It's possible that this awkwardness is an expression of deeper feelings that they're struggling to contain. Their nervousness, fidgeting, or even freezing up could be subtle signals that they care more than they're willing to show. In fact, these moments can often reveal more than a well-rehearsed compliment or a smooth conversation ever could. If you've ever been on the receiving end of such behaviour, you know that it can be both endearing and revealing. It's a reminder that we all have our vulnerabilities, and sometimes the simplest gestures or nervous habits can speak volumes about how much someone cares. If you've ever caught someone acting a bit strange or off around you, it's not just clumsiness. It could be the sign of something deeper. They're struggling to keep their composure because their feelings for you are so intense. They're hard to control. If you've noticed this kind of behavior, you're not alone. Now, I want you to comment below. I can see through the awkwardness. I know what it means. Let's start a conversation about those unspoken signs of attraction. Sign 5. They find ways to be near you, always. When someone has a crush on you, their actions often speak louder than words. One of the clearest signs is that they constantly find ways to be near you, as if drawn by an invisible force. It's not uncommon for them to always choose the same seating arrangements, pick the same events to attend, or even walk in the same direction as you. At first glance, these actions might seem like coincidences, but as they persist, it becomes clear. It's not just chance, it's emotional gravity at play. As the philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The person with a crush is aware of the fleeting nature of time and is driven by an innate desire to be close to you, as if every moment near you is precious. On a psychological level, when someone is intensely drawn to another, their brain is wired to seek proximity. Their actions aren't necessarily driven by the need to speak or make their feelings known, but by a subconscious pull to close the distance between you. Even when they remain silent, their presence is a silent declaration of their attraction. They may not have the courage to confess their feelings, but their body language and subtle movements say it all. Being near you provides them with a sense of safety, a feeling of satisfaction, and a small glimmer of hope. It's their way of feeding the crush, maintaining that emotional connection without taking the risk of exposing their true feelings. Think about it. When someone constantly finds their way into your vicinity, even when there's no practical reason for it, it's not about logistics or convenience. It's about longing. They want to be close to you, not out of obligation, but because their heart yearns for the connection. The next time you notice this pattern, trust that it's more than just chance at work. Take note of their actions and understand that this proximity is their silent way of saying, "I'm here, I'm interested, and I can't stay away." Now, take a moment to reflect on this. Have you ever noticed someone whose presence around you always feels intentional? Maybe they've lingered a bit longer than necessary in a conversation or showed up at events you weren't expecting them to attend. If you've experienced this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think it means when someone consistently chooses to be near you? Feel free to share your experiences in the comments. Sign 6. They overreact emotionally to small things. When someone's crushing on you so hard it's driving them crazy, every word, every glance, every gesture becomes amplified in their world. Sign 6 is clear. They overreact emotionally to even the smallest things. You tease them playfully and they snap back defensively. You give a compliment to someone else and suddenly their mood shifts like a storm cloud rolling in. You offer a simple kindness and their face lights up as if you handed them the key to their heart. These aren't just minor reactions. No, these are emotional spikes, raw and untamed, born of a heart deeply invested. They may try to hide it, but their emotions are hanging by a thread, easily triggered by the smallest interactions. In the realm of psychology, this is known as emotional hypersensitivity, a state where even the slightest comment or gesture holds the weight of 1,000 emotions. Why does this happen? Because they are already half in love. They've unknowingly given you their heart, and now everything you do carries a magnitude they can't control. A smile from you is like sunshine, breaking through a cloudy sky, while a cold shoulder feels like winter's bitter chill. These reactions, they aren't about the moment itself. No, they're about the storm swirling inside them, an internal hurricane they can't quite name. It's the tension between what they feel and what they're too afraid to admit. This, my friend, is the intensity of someone's heart when it's drawn to you. Like the Stoics, we must recognize the importance of mastering our emotions rather than being ruled by them. In today's world, such emotional responses might seem excessive, but the truth is, this kind of vulnerability is rare, and it's a sign of someone willing to expose their truest self. Understand this. When someone reacts this strongly, they're revealing their desire, their attraction, their uncertainty. It's a subtle plea for you to notice, to step closer, to understand that behind the emotional flare, there's a heart waiting for acknowledgement. But don't mistake it for weakness. It's an unspoken strength. Remember what Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In this case, a good man notices when emotions are being stirred, and he knows how to handle them. Be that man. Pay attention to the details, because it's in the smallest things that you'll find the greatest clues. Sign 7. Their friends seem to know something. You walk into a room and suddenly there's an undeniable change in the atmosphere. A slight smirk here, a subtle nudge there, or perhaps a quick raised eyebrow. These small, almost imperceptible signals tell you that something is afoot. It's as though you've unknowingly stumbled upon a secret, and though it's unspoken, it's as clear as day. This is often the telltale sign of someone who's harboring a deep crush, but hasn't yet found the courage or opportunity to speak their feelings aloud. So what's really going on? The truth is, when someone is crushing hard, their feelings are like a quiet storm that's hard to hide for long. Even if they're doing their best to keep it under wraps, emotions this powerful tend to slip out in tiny, unexpected ways, through casual conversations, unguarded moments, and maybe even confessions that are shared in the wee hours of the night when the heart is less guarded. But the real twist is this. It's rarely the person with the crush who reveals the truth first. Instead, it's often their friends who unintentionally spill the beans, simply because they're close enough to sense the shifts in behaviour. After all, people who are emotionally invested in someone's life tend to pick up on the nuances that others might miss. This is where the idea of social leakage comes into play, a term in psychology that explains how emotions often escape from a person not through their own words or actions, but through the reactions of those around them. It's as if their inner world begins to leak out in subtle ways, spilling into the conversations and body language of their close circle. You might notice it in how their friends behave when you're nearby, the playful teasing, the knowing glances exchanged with a quick glance toward the object of the crush, or perhaps the sudden silence that falls when you enter the room, as though you've just been let in on a secret no one was meant to share. The key here is that it's not always the person with the crush who signals their feelings. It's often the friends who, knowingly or unknowingly, give it away. They become the unwitting messengers of someone else's emotions, showing you what the person themselves hasn't yet been able to admit. In many ways, their reactions act as a mirror to the emotional turmoil the person with the crush is experiencing. If you look closely, you'll often find that their friends know exactly what's going on, perhaps even before the person with the crush has fully processed their own feelings. In the world we live in today, this phenomenon plays out more often than we realise, especially with the prevalence of social media, group chats, and informal conversations where people often share details of their private lives without even thinking about it. It's in these spaces where friends might unknowingly give hints about what's happening beneath the surface. The truth about someone's crush could be slipping out through group conversations or sly comments, and it's easy to see if you're paying attention to how others react when you're around. When you notice that their friends seem to be in on a secret, it's often a clue that the person with the crush is struggling to hide their feelings. They may not be ready to tell you directly, but their friends already know, and through their body language and the dynamics of their interactions, they may be revealing a piece of the puzzle you didn't even know existed. So, next time you sense a shift in the room, or notice a group of friends exchanging sly glances when you appear, take it as a sign. These small signals could be the quiet confirmation that someone is crushing on you harder than they're willing to admit. Their friends might not come out and say it, but their body language might be giving you more insight than you think. And in the end, it's not always about what's said, but about what's left unsaid, and how those around them begin to reveal the truth. If you've noticed those subtle signs, like friends exchanging knowing glances, take it as a clue. Someone's crush is harder to hide than they think. If this insight resonated with you, comment below and share it with anyone who could use this wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden truths. Comment to remember. Their friends might know before they do. Sign 8. They mirror you without realizing it. When someone is deeply attracted to you, one of the most powerful yet subtle signs can be something as simple as mirroring, a behavior that's usually unconscious but incredibly telling. You may notice that they start to mimic your actions, crossing their legs when you do, tilting their head as you speak, or even lifting their drink just a moment after you do. It's fascinating how this happens without any deliberate intent on their part. It's like their body is instinctively drawn to yours. Why does this happen? It all comes down to our brains being wired for connection. When someone feels a strong emotional pull towards you, especially one that feels overwhelming or hard to control, their subconscious mind does everything it can to create harmony and sync up with yours. In scientific terms, this is called limbic synchrony, a natural phenomenon where the brain subconsciously mirrors the behavior of someone it's emotionally attuned to. This isn't a calculated move, it's not a strategy for getting your attention, and it certainly isn't a deliberate act of flirtation. It's purely biological. The person doesn't even realize they're doing it. It's just their body reacting to a connection that's happening at a deeper level. When you notice this kind of behavior happening consistently, it's a clear signal that they're feeling something powerful, something beyond just casual interest. Their body is saying what their words haven't quite caught up with yet. In the fast-paced world we live in today, where people are often too focused on maintaining control and appearing unaffected, it's easy to overlook or dismiss these natural signs. But in truth, the body doesn't lie, and when these subtle forms of mirroring show up, it's your cue to pay attention. The connection may not always be verbal, but it's unmistakable in the way someone synchronizes their movements with yours. It's a reminder that even in the modern world, where emotions are often buried under layers of technology and convenience, the oldest and most primal aspects of human connection still prevail. So the next time you catch someone mirroring your movements, know that it's not by chance. It's a deeper signal that something is stirring beneath the surface. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Sign 9. They give you special attention no one else gets. Let's be perfectly clear about something that often goes unnoticed. When someone is crushing on you with such intensity that it's driving them crazy, their behavior shifts in profound ways. You might find yourself talking to them, and suddenly, the world around you fades into the background. All of a sudden, you have their undivided attention. It's not just about being polite or engaging in a casual conversation. No, it's something deeper, something personal. It's as though, in that moment, you become their universe. They listen not just with their ears, but with their entire being. Their focus is on you in a way that is exclusive, and you can feel it. There's a distinct energy that surrounds you both. But it doesn't end there. It's not just in the conversations, it's in their actions too. They constantly go out of their way to make sure you're comfortable, to help you when needed, or to simply be there for you. They make an effort to ensure that you don't feel alone or left out. These are the people who remember the smallest details about your life and subtly incorporate them into their interactions. You can see them making decisions based on what would make you happy or comfortable. It's not about grand gestures. It's the quiet things, the little acts that show they're thinking of you even when you're not around. This is what psychologists would call differentiation. It's when someone treats you differently because, in their eyes, you are someone unique, someone worthy of special attention. They begin to place you on a pedestal, but not in the superficial, egotistical way we often think about it. No, this pedestal is built on emotional investment. They value you in ways they can't always articulate, but their actions speak volumes. Every smile, Every thoughtful gesture, every small favor is a silent message. You matter to me in ways that words cannot express. It's an act of prioritization that goes beyond mere politeness. It's the foundation of true affection, where the world around them starts to blur, and they give you their complete, undivided attention. And here's the thing. This kind of attention is not given out freely. It's not something they do for just anyone. It's reserved for you. It's a rare form of respect that goes beyond the ordinary. They've begun to treat you differently because they see something in you that they don't see in others. It's the kind of treatment reserved for those who are truly valued, those who have made an emotional imprint. It's a subtle, quiet way of showing that you've earned a special place in their life. In a world where distractions are everywhere, where people's time and attention are fragmented, someone who makes you their focus is giving you something incredibly valuable. Their presence. It's a statement of emotional investment, and you'll recognize this sign when it happens, because no one else is receiving the same level of attention. It's a clear signal that you've become someone important to them, someone whose feelings matter. Let's not forget, this isn't just about someone being nice. It's a deeper form of emotional recognition. This is not a casual interest. This is the early signs of someone who has become emotionally attached and invested in you. It's their way of showing that they care in ways they may not have the words to express. It's powerful, and it's telling. It's like a well-known quote by the great Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. Their actions, the way they treat you, reflects the depth of their feelings. It's a silent, continuous demonstration that you're on their mind, that you occupy a space that no one else can fill. This is a clear signal to you, whether you've noticed it or not. In our modern world, where everyone is constantly rushing around, distracted by technology and endless demands, someone who gives you this kind of attention is offering you something truly rare. It's more than just time. It's focus. It's care. It's a deep-rooted interest in you. It's a clear sign that their emotions are engaged in a way that few people will experience. And this is not something that happens every day. When you start to notice this, don't just take it for granted. Understand what it means. They have given you something that speaks volumes, and it's up to you to decide how to respond. What will you do with this knowledge? Recognize the power you hold in this dynamic. You now know that someone is crushing on you with intensity. You've seen the signs, and you know the story they tell. Don't be afraid to step forward and embrace what's being shown to you. Make the most of it. It's your time to own your destiny. Recognize your worth, and don't settle for anything less than the attention and care you deserve. If you've noticed this in your own life, don't hesitate to comment below and share your story. Engage with this moment. Own it. Sign 10. They can't move on even if they try. When someone is crushing on you so intensely that it's driving them crazy, one of the most unmistakable signs is their inability to move on, even when they desperately try. You've probably noticed the back and forth behaviour. One moment they're retreating, seemingly pulling away, only to reappear in your life moments later, as if nothing ever happened. This emotional roller coaster, an emotional tug of war, can feel draining, not just for them, but for you too. It's an internal battle they're fighting, even if they don't fully realise it themselves. The reason behind this push-pull dynamic lies in something called cognitive dissonance. Essentially, it's the mental conflict that arises when their strong feelings for you clash with their fears. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, or even the fear of opening themselves up to emotional pain. Their heart is screaming to move forward, to get closer, yet their mind is pulling them in the opposite direction, urging them to protect themselves, even if that means keeping their distance from someone they deeply care about. This emotional confusion isn't a sign of indifference, it's a reflection of their inner turmoil. They want you more than they're willing to admit, not only to you but to themselves as well. The real kicker here is that no matter how much they try to distance themselves, they can't seem to escape the magnetic pull of their emotions. Their desire to be close to you always pulls them back in. like a powerful gravitational force they can't resist, despite the mental pushback. It's easy to misinterpret this as a lack of interest, but in reality, it's the exact opposite. This mental tug-of-war is a sure sign that their feelings for you run much deeper than they're letting on, and the longer this emotional struggle goes on, the stronger those feelings become. It's the kind of internal chaos that often leaves them confused and uncertain, but also makes their feelings grow with every attempt to walk away. In today's world, where fear of rejection and vulnerability can run high, this type of emotional confusion can be even more pronounced. With modern dating so focused on instant gratification and avoiding emotional risks, the idea of opening up to someone can feel like a massive leap of faith. So if you're noticing this back and forth pattern with someone, it's not about them playing games. It's about them being caught between the desire to be close to you and the fear of being hurt. This emotional turmoil is something they have to work through before they can fully express their feelings. And while this process might be frustrating, it also signals that their feelings for you are serious and real, even if they're not yet ready to fully embrace them. So there you have it, 10 undeniable signs that someone's crushing on you so hard, it's driving them crazy. From their nervous energy to their mixed signals, every little action reveals how deeply they're feeling inside. And while they may not be ready to confess it outright, their behavior speaks volumes. The next time you notice any of these signs, remember it's not just coincidence. It's an emotional battle, one that's been quietly unfolding right before your eyes. But here's the thing, it's easy to miss these signs if you're not paying attention. So keep your eyes open. You might be surprised at who's been secretly falling for you. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you seen these signs in someone close to you? Or maybe you've been the one feeling this way. Drop your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. And here's some friendly advice to wrap up. Whether you're the one crushing or you're the object of affection, remember to stay grounded. Don't rush to conclusions and don't let the confusion overwhelm you. The heart and mind both need clarity to make sense of emotions. So be patient, observe, and trust that everything will reveal itself in due time. If you want more insights into the psychology of love, attraction, and human behavior, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on a new video. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.